From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, time for Campo's Corner here on The Horse's Mouth. Of course, at my bar at Tommy Max, where all are welcome to have a seat, grab a beverage, get a chance to tell their story. Brought to our good friends at All Dry Services of Southeast Jacksonville. Major Harding is here. Chris Budihas is here from Alquist, a big part of CFM and Sunny Side Up. And, of course, Coach Campo is here as well. And we've got a special guest. Sally Ward is here from St. Augustine, and she's into biomechanics, helping out professional athletes. We're going to get into a great conversation here at the bar. Sally's up first. Hey, Sally, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it, Major.
Tom.
Chris.
Always good to see you, Tom.
You guys,
Yes,
always
Tommy.
a pleasure, Coach. We're going to love this one. All right, Sally, we're talking about biomechanics. We're talking about helping athletes out. You're probably the highest rated athlete here at the bar. No question about it. I know for me, for sure. But you're a former gymnastics, thank you, and been an athlete your whole life, Olympic even, working through that, and then you got into helping other athletes. Please tell us what you're up to.
Yes, I'm a former artistic and rhythmic gymnast.
Okay.
I trained at the United States Olympic Committee for many years of my life and retired right before the Olympic Games in '96.
Okay.
And throughout the years, I've done coaching for gymnastics and ballet, but I actually started off going to an NBA basketball game, and I was there early and I saw the dynamic warm-up, and I was really blown away by, I felt like I just was all of a sudden I was in that athletic zone where I just saw all the corrections I wanted to make.
Okay.
As far as so the athlete could be released to experience their full talent of what they had. Quickly went on to NFL, and I've been working with different NFL athletes and teams since 2012.
So reading body language, is that how you see them warming up and you're like, yeah, I don't like the way that guy looks, or that, whatever, however their aura or whatever? What are you thinking?
No, it's more as far as the biomechanics of their posture, their alignment, and then also to learn how to really fully develop their talent when it comes to movement so they can access everything they need to for their craft. So as an NFL athlete, as far as how they move during dynamic warm-up, how their posture and alignment is, and their biomechanics for their strength and conditioning, their body work, their flexibility, their recovery, all of that is a performance. And it's, there's a perspective that warm-up time in certain parts of the NFL daily practice is really, just for the athlete to feel warm and do well. But in actuality, as an athlete, you are using your own mind to teach your body how to respond in future circumstances. And it is actually a performance to your body, and the importance, and not only that, to actually understand and have done it myself, deliver the movement to the maximum level so you can know where to reach and what is the goal. Like in my mind, I see everything up here. Yeah. But I try to really break it down and just help the athlete become the best they can be.
Visualization, manifestation, like seeing yourself being successful in whatever sport that you're doing.
Yeah, in simple terms, I just try to be, I'm kind of like the eyes that kind of see the unseen without the technology. Okay. I'm a visual biomechanics expert. It's real simple. I have a lineman that comes in. I watch him for the day. I'm like, hey, how much time do I have, coach, to work with him? I pick out the top 5 things that I think are most important that are going to reduce the soft tissue injury prevention or reduce the soft tissue injuries for non-contact, enhance his performance, and then also help him. But I see, what's important to me, and I go for that. And then also, I do group assessments too, but a lot of times teams will say, hey, take a look at these 5 guys. This is our concern. This is his history. What can we do? And sometimes it's more preventative. Sometimes it's more, hey, performance-wise to the athlete, do you understand where you want your body to be going in this position? Do you understand what your goal is? Because a lot of them, Well, a lot of athletes and coaches, they don't really shoot for the goal of the maximum movement because they know what the movement is, but they don't really know the extent of where they're supposed to go with it. So it's how you do what you do, not just what you do.
Fascinating. Cool.
That really is interesting. I'll tell you what, you are like this new technology that everything is using. In other words, that's something that will continue in the future because injury, especially when I heard soft tissue, it really is about, kids get hurt in the weight room because they don't know exactly what they're doing with different muscle groups. All those kind of things, I'm sure, comes into that situation.
Definitely, 100%. And I support the technology, of course, but there also is a place for that on-site, spot-on, in-time, real motion corrections.
Right.
Being able to recognize.
And that's what I'm saying. The technology with you is here. It's not, this is a different technology, but that to me, do you work with young kids as well? Do you work with like high school athletes or college athletes or?
It's, when I first started reaching out into this field, I did reach out to colleges a lot. And unfortunately, a door just didn't open for me in that area.
Okay.
And I just worked with individual athletes. I would reach out to them, and then they would fly me to where they were for the weekend or whatever on the side.
Okay.
So I started doing that until a team actually hired me, bought me for the year.
Right.
So that was a growing experience as well.
Okay, so maybe this doesn't fit, or maybe it does, but let's walk me through, not this past Olympics, the one before with Simone Biles. Left the competition, basically just couldn't compete anymore for whatever. I think her mind took over. We know the mind is a powerful thing. Okay, so walk me through that, because I know as a football player, I'd be like, you really bailed on your team. Like you didn't suck it up. Like, what are you talking about? You're leaving the Olympic Games because all of a sudden you don't feel like, you know what I mean? That's how I would react. I'd be very upset if that was a football player saying, oh man, I just can't go. I just can't go. I played a quarter, I played bad, and now I'm done. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting answer.
I know with Simone, there's legit, I'm not trying to bag on her. I'm just saying, like, there's legit, where she went through something. She couldn't overcome it, but how do you get to that point? Like, you're an Olympic athlete, like everything. I know the pressure's there, but the pressure's there for every big Olympic athlete. Like, how did it get to that point, I guess? Like, how did she get to that mental, I can't do it? And then she comes back and wins, 4 years later.
Yes.
That was a lot. I know. I ramble a lot. By the way, have you seen my alignment? My family looks like
he's got some. You could really do him. You could really give him some help. I've watched him.
You know what I mean? So, like, how do you? The solution, right? Like, if you're in that real time, like, there's no solution. How do you bring it? Could you bring it back? Could you have brought it back?
I can just speak from my own experience. My first time ever competing at an international competition, I was 13 years old. Okay. And I was representing America. I was in, I believe it was Paris, France was my first international competition. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Calais. No, Paris, France. That's what it was. And I totally spazzed out. I was in an international setting. Okay. I totally bombed. Just being honest. Yeah. I did not have it together. I didn't feel like I could say I'm not going out there for me because I didn't know that was an option. Yeah. I just kind of went and I did bomb out. But, that's why they send you on international meets to get you ready for future Olympic Games and things like that. Yep. So I do understand how someone can, kind of get in that headspace. And it takes a lot of courage to say, I don't feel safe moving forward and with the mentality I have at this very moment. And
especially in that sport.
And the skills she was executing. Yeah. For, during that time, could have been a very dangerous situation.
Dangerous, right, right.
So I think it was a really big first for a lot of people to see, someone take a pause. So, I mean, I have had similar experiences where I felt just completely out of my mind and body. Yeah. But I really, I also, wasn't able to come back right then. But in time, there's a lot of mental game, as you know, as a football athlete in gymnastics.
For sure.
That's, like I say, I was never the best athlete in the room, but I knew how to hone in my mental game. So when it came time to actually deliver, I delivered.
Yeah.
And that's what got me so far.
Okay.
So
Awesome story.
That is. All right, so as we wrap up, Sally, any message to people watching the show that may be athletes or parents of young athletes, like anything you could give them to help their mental game? Even if it's simple, something that would just...
Well, I would say mentally, I think, they can, loving yourself as, an athlete, you're all about performing. Everything you do is just executing physical every day. And I feel like as a young person, as a young professional athlete, it's a little bit hard not to get lost in that because you feel like the real you is not being seen and heard. So I would just really encourage serving all parts of who you are and, bringing back the importance of who your identity really is outside of sports. To me, God in my life, it really is the foundation of who I am, even as a coach today. Yeah. And has really been my rock as far as teaching me who I am on and off the field, bringing, I've had spouts of, wide and thin and, who you really are from the inside out is really going to be your foundation for your entire life. And I think what you build on that, if it's strong, you're able to really be grounded as you face opportunities. Because as an athlete, you're going to be on TV, you're going to be the star, then you're going to be cut.
Yeah.
And
right.
You know it.
You're going to be the favorite in the room and you're going to be the hated in the room. And you have to know who you are so you can stand in that and know and be able to be steady and walk through that fire because there's a lot of love and glory and there's a lot of not love and glory.
That's right. Great piece of advice.
But yes, sir.
All right, Sally, thanks for being here.
That's great. This is great.
Great segment.
I feel like we need a debriefing after.
Yes, exactly.
Go over it a little bit more.
I got a few guys that I coach that could have used that. I can tell you that right now.
I get that. Listen, as we all know, the mind is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
And if you got your mind right, you can.
But the biomechanics, though, is
I'd love to
injury.
also be, I say really focus on how you move and what you do and how you do it because that is going to be the seed of your future. That can lengthen your career. No doubt. So I definitely, if you're interested in and you need help, I can either maybe point you in a direction or myself be available to you.
That's great.
Really maximizing and perfecting those movements.
I'll tell you one bit of advice that I got at a young age, and it's still with me today, is always be symmetrical. Make sure your left is as good as your right. Make sure you're as strong on your right side as you are on your left. If you're as strong as you can. Right now, sometimes that doesn't happen. But old Coach Zabel used to tell me that. Steve Zabel, be symmetrical.
Yeah, I know Steve well.
Mike Singletary used to work out with dumbbells to be symmetrical. So he wasn't grabbing the barbell and not knowing if one arm was going harder than the other. So he worked out with dumbbells to make sure that they were both equally as strong. Isn't that cool?
Athletic integrity, I think, is huge, too. Because... athletic integrity in my definition is doing what you know is very best for yourself when no one's looking. And even in the weight room, your weaker side, it's harder to be even. There's always an opportunity and a chance not to be exact. It's harder to do the right thing physically even, not just mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So I always told myself as an athlete, it's going to hurt today. I'm putting in the work today.
She's absolutely right.
And I tell myself, even as a child, this will be easier for me tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you just need to eat the dirt today. Eat the dirt today.
That's right.
Athletic integrity.
I love it.
Then you will be the champion the next day.
That's
right. See? So
eat your dirt out there. Young athletes need to eat some dirt. I'm more than happy to shove it in there too. They talk too much. All right, Sally, thanks so much. Really appreciate it, fellas. Thanks so much. Always a great time at my bar, man. We love every single guest, and whether you're brand new like Sally or you've been here before, we love hearing what you're up to and what you're doing out there, especially if you're helping people. Make sure you check out Sally's profile. You see all these guys too. You see this conversation. Just go to the dailynewsnetwork.com website to catch it all there. So until next time, stay safe and be cool and eat some dirt. It's good for you. We'll see you right here on the Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
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 Yeah.
My name is Todd Marshall, and I own All Dry Services of Southeast Jacksonville. We serve all of Northeast Florida. Every day our business is doing the more mundane, but yet sometimes catastrophic issues. These can be plumbing leaks, they can be sewage backups. A bathtub overflows, somebody leaves the sink running. So we have a 24/7 response. If you call us, you're going to get a live person, and you try to get out there as quick as possible so that we can minimize the damage.